Guys, it's Anna. Welcome or welcome back. So today I'm sharing with you my top 8 tips in regards to Disability Access Service Pass, also known as DAS. Some of these tips are for pre-registration and some of these tips are when you're actually in the park. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Before we get into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Anna. On this channel, I share all of my adventures with my 2 sons. We love Disney. We do cruising. We do Disney parks and other things here and there in between. We utilize DAS Pass. I should say my son utilizes DAS Pass, and we've been getting him the pass since he was about 3 years old. We've never had an issue using the pass and he's always been approved for it. But last year in April, the system went through like this whole humongous change and so many people no longer qualified. Now, we were able to utilize the new system and the new registration this past November of 2024. Though it was a lot, it wasn't as bad as some people say it is, but of course everyone's experience is very different. If you want to see that full video, I'll have it linked right over here and down below, so check it out. But Disability Access Service Pass, now the new system, is intended for guests who have a developmental disability such as autism or similar and cannot wait in a conventional queue line. Now, other people do get approved here and there because of course I'm in Facebook groups, TikToks, Instagram, so you see those cases, but they're very, very few. So I would definitely encourage you to reach out to Disney and to see how they're able to assist you with your particular disability. When you're approved for DAS and you get to the Disney parks, you're able to reserve a ride, attraction, a show, and not wait in the conventional queue line. So you're still waiting the same time, maybe sometimes even a little bit longer, but you're just waiting outside of the queue. So you could either go use the restroom if you need to, go to the baby care center, maybe have lunch or a snack, or just relax somewhere in the shade. And then when your time is up, you walk to the cast member and you go ahead and scan it, and the person who is utilizing the DAS Pass has to scan first and then the family members scan after. I hope that brief explanation was helpful. As I've mentioned before, definitely check out my videos up here and down below. I go into so much more detail. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Tip number 1. In order for you to utilize a DAS Pass in the parks, you have to have a smartphone so you can have the My Disney Experience app. On that app, that is how you're going to book your rides, modify them, cancel, pretty much do anything and everything related to your DAS Pass within that app. So having a smartphone and having the app for My Disney Experience is a must. Tip number 2, you should always register in advance. Right now, you can register in advance 30 days before your first park day. Not 30 days before you get to Orlando or 30 days before you get to your resort. 30 days before your first park day. And that could also be a party. If you're going to a Christmas party or a Halloween party, if that is your first ticket to a Disney park, that is okay. You can register 30 days to that party. You can also register in person, though I haven't experienced it, but I hear that it's a little bit more stressful and could take a little bit longer, and you really don't have a lot of privacy. I think at this point in time they give you an iPad and you kind of go through the same process where you have to wait for a cast member to get on the call with you and pretty much go through the whole interview before you're either approved or denied for the pass. So I think it's definitely better to register in advance and also to know whether you're going to be approved or not, so then that way you could adjust or readjust your trip if you need to. Tip number 3. On the day of your registration and interview, make sure you're ready to give this half a day, if not a full day, because this process can take as little as 20 minutes and it could take multiple hours. And you want to make sure that once you start the process, you're here, you're present, you're available, and of course the person who is requesting DAS is there as well. So if you're a parent, make sure that your kid is here, because if they pick up and the child is not here, they're going to unfortunately disconnect and tell you to call back when the child is present. If you get approved for DAS, you or your child, they will ask to take a picture of that person who's requesting DAS. So definitely be ready for that. In the past, they never really spoke to children aside from, you know, hi, how are you? That's it. Now, with a new system, they tend to ask to speak to kids, and they could ask how it makes them feel when they wait in the line and other questions in that sense. So definitely be ready. When we had our interview this past November, the cast member was very nice, very kind. My son came, she took his picture. I think she asked him how he was doing, and he just told her that he didn't want to be there and he left, and she was like, that's okay. I just want you to be prepared that they could potentially ask your little child, your teenager, your young adult who is requesting DAS, even if you have difficulty expressing yourself, difficulty with speech, please be prepared. With that, also know that everyone who is going to be in that party should already be linked and have active tickets in the My Disney Experience app. So everybody has to be together. If you have a larger party, they might not approve it. Because before it was up to 6 people, now they say it's 4 people, your immediate family, and then maybe they'll approve 2 additional people. So just regardless, have everybody linked, because better to do that and let them see that you're a party of 6 than tell her that, oh, I have other people who are not linked, because those people are not going to be able to be underneath the DAS pass with you. Maybe once you get to the parks, they'll be able to readjust it for you. But when you're having the live chat, that chance is gone when it comes to registering other folks. Tip number 4. Be very prepared for the interview. It's going to be tough. Tough in a sense where they're going to ask you a lot of personal questions, and you're going to have to give them a lot of personal answers. I know, I've made lots of videos. You can go check them out about my feelings about all of this. I know, but if you're looking to get a disability pass for yourself or for your child, you have to go through this process, unfortunately, and you have to provide answers to all of their questions, and you have to paint a full picture of what happens. So you can't, you know, do this interview, and if they ask you, well, why do you have a hard time waiting in line, and you give them an answer just because I don't want to wait in line, or because I get hot, or because I'm uncomfortable, you're not going to get approved. You need to explain what happens to you or to your child when you wait in a long line. They will also ask you questions outside of the park. How do you do shopping? How do you go to school? How do you take public transportation? And so on and so forth. We had all of those questions. If you want to see that video, we'll have it linked here and down below. So be prepared. If your child is receiving services in school or outside of school, be prepared to list all of those services and explain why your child is receiving those particular services. You have to paint a full picture. That is the only way to have the best possible outcome, to be honest. Now, when we had our interview, we didn't have a medical professional that came in with the cast member. It was just the cast members. So all of these experiences are very different from this person to the next. And our cast member was fairly nice, though I can't say she was overly friendly, but she was very kind, very respectful. And she did tell me that I'm going to ask you very detailed questions, and if you're okay with that. And I said, of course. I mean, we're here to get the Disability Access Service Pass for my son. I'm ready. Tip number 5. Once you're approved for DAS, please know that it's not going to show up anywhere on your My Disney Experience app or your account on the Disney website. It's not going to be visible anywhere until you're physically are on Disney property. Then you'll be able to see it on your My Disney Experience app all the way on the bottom. Tip number 6, once you are physically in the park, you can start booking your reservations to shows and attractions and meeting characters using your Disability Access Service Pass. So you would go into the app, find DAS. It's usually located all the way on the bottom. You'll click on that and you'll start making your reservations. You can only hold one DAS reservation at a time. So what that means, in other words, is that you can't stack them. You cannot have multiple ones. If you no longer want to go to one that you currently have, you will have to cancel it and book a different attraction or show. So it's only one at a time and they don't expire. So if you wanted to book something and go have dinner while your queue is going, you can do that. They won't expire even when your time comes up. The only time it expires, of course, is when the park is closed and you cannot use DAS Pass anymore. Also know that if half of your party is in the park and the other half is parking the car or having a late start, you cannot include them in your reservation for a particular ride or attraction or show. So you can only include those people who, of course, were approved with you and who are currently in the park with you. So if grandma and mom is in the park with the child, they'll be able to use it. And if dad is out there somewhere parking the car or sleeping in the hotel, you cannot reserve it, even if it's something that you're going to be using 3 hours down the line. Dad is not going to be on that reservation. So just know that. Also within this tip, please know, rides that have a virtual queue, you still have to get into the boarding group. You cannot use your disability pass to skip that. You have to get into the group, and your only option is 7 o'clock in the morning from anywhere and 1 p.m. from within the park that has the ride that you're looking to get on. Your Disability Access Service Pass does not play any role what group you get. You could get group number 1 or you can get group 201. So it's totally up to you. Totally up to your luck and what is available and how fast you're booking it. Once your group is called, I believe you have 1 hour to get to the attraction. Once you get to the attraction, find a cast member, tell them that your group was called and you are utilizing a DAS Pass, and they will put you through the lightning lane. Because the virtual queue, even though your boarding group was called, that can still take an hour. So you don't go into that line, you go into the lightning lane, but you have to just make sure you speak to the cast member and they show you where you need to go. Okay. Tip number 7, some of the attractions in Walt Disney World have 2 scanning points. One would be right at the beginning where you scan in, and then one somewhere halfway through. Some of those rides would be Flight of Passage, Navi, oh my goodness, probably Tron, and big attractions. Some of those big attractions have double scan points. You can always ask a cast member if this particular ride has 2 scan points. So just know, with the new system, you have to now wait 10 minutes. Before, it was that you scan once and you can book. If the attraction had 2 checkpoints, you scan them both and then you can book another ride using your DAS Pass. But now you have to scan both if there is 2 in that attraction, and after you scan the second time, then your 10-minute timer starts before you can book another attraction using your DAS Pass. Tip number 8. You can use your Disability Access Service Pass, also known as DAS, during the Christmas party and Halloween party. A lot of people get confused. Some people say yes, some people say no. And I think where the confusion happens is that some people who don't know go to the party, and if they're there during a specific time when DAS isn't available, they will say, no, it's not available, you can't use it, but you can. And this is what happens. So if you have a ticket to the party, whether it's Christmas or Halloween, you're able to enter the park at 4 p.m. and the party doesn't start till 7, and the park officially closes for day guests at 6. A lot of times, a lot of numbers. Okay, so if you enter the park at 4 p.m., you'll get your wristband and you have your DAS. You'll be able to go ahead and use DAS Pass from 4 to 6. So you could potentially go on 2, 3, maybe even 4 rides. Just depends what kind of rides you're going on. From 6 to 7, the whole system goes down, because at that point in time, the cast members are filtering day guests and ushering them towards the exit, and that's when they're checking the wristbands. They'll say like, hands up, like, let me see your wrists. So once the party officially starts at 7 p.m., the DAS system goes back up, and you can go ahead and use it on any attraction you like. You can even meet some characters, not all, but some. Sometimes you could meet Mickey and Minnie, and sometimes you could meet Jack and Sally. We've met both of them utilizing DAS Pass. The trick is, if I'm correct, things always change. I don't work for Disney. If they're meeting in like the town hall, it's an actual building, you can go ahead and use your DAS. But if they're meeting like in a tent or outside or like a gazebo, there's no way you could use a DAS Pass to reserve your spot. So you'll have to wait in line over there. All right, guys, well, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you'll be notified every single time I upload a new video. Definitely check out the DAS playlist. I have great videos there. If you have any further questions that I can help you with, definitely leave them down in the comments below. Also, you can share your experience with DAS, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.